So I wanted to talk to you today about healing after manipulative relationships because it is not the same thing as healing after a relationship ends. And the reason is because when you have a broken relationship and you're healing, maybe you're healing from a broken heart. Maybe you have to grieve what you hoped would have happened that didn't happen, or the loss of the relationship. However, you're still you. When you've been in a manipulative relationship, you're not you. The relationship has twisted and turned your subconscious mind, your nervous system, your self-image inside and out to the point that it's like you're in a knot. And just because you leave or the other person leaves, that knot that is created because of the manipulation doesn't just come undone. And so healing after manipulation is not the same. And then on top of that, there's a lot of great advice on how to heal after broken relationships, but trying to apply it when you're healing from manipulative relationships feels like it doesn't work. And the reason I think that is because I think that a lot of the focus is on what to do externally, what to look for and how to act, which is great advice. But remember, manipulation changes us on the inside. And so if we don't also take into account what happened on the inside and untie that knot, we'll find ourselves in the famous 2-step forward, 1-step back process of healing. For example, that's what happened with me. Yes or no in the comments below if this sounds familiar. Every time I would see a symptom of the fact that I wasn't healed, I would Google and find all about that symptom and what to do with how to handle it. Then I would try to apply the actions that I was given, which would have been great action. But again, since I wasn't doing anything on the internal, I would start to see change, but quickly wind up right back at square one. And then the loop would begin again. I would do my research, try to find something else, apply something else. That didn't work, back at square one. Try to find something else, apply something else, back at square one. And all that did was strengthen a false belief that I was beyond help. I can never heal. I'm damaged forever. Talk about limiting beliefs. So let's break that 2-step forward, 2-step back process of healing, because in this video, I want to help you to learn how to get your mind and your body together on the recovery journey. That being said, let's dive in. For those that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a survivor myself of emotional trauma. I'm a trauma-informed coach. I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner, and I'm the founder of the School of Transformation, which to me is like nervous system rehab. This is where I meet live on Zoom weekly with survivors from all over the world, and we do the inner healing work on our nervous system together. So if you're looking for some live support and my videos resonate with you, make sure to join me on Zoom every week. So remember, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned that manipulative relationships change you, right? You're so different at the end of them. So let's talk about what that looks like. One of the things that starts to change is your self-trust. When you're in a relationship with somebody that's manipulative, they train you to doubt yourself. And so our inner compass is what guides us. It's what helps us to know what's best for us. Honestly, our inner compass, our gut instinct always has our best interests at heart. However, a manipulative person can cause you to override your own inner gut instinct. And the danger of that is that you then put your trust in the other person, the person that's manipulating you, to explain and make sense out of reality. And sadly, they're on a whole different plane of reality. And so then by putting your trust in them and almost separating from yourself, it's almost like the manipulative person gets a back door into your subconscious beliefs. And this is what they start causing you to believe about yourself. You start thinking, I can't trust my feelings. I need to make other people happy in order to feel safe. I'm not good enough. Others are better. And another belief that manipulative people love to instill in others is the belief there's something wrong with me. So again, with those limiting beliefs, there is no inner sense of agency. It's almost like we take the power from ourselves and we give it unconsciously to the manipulative person. This is the scenario they're creating inside of us, oftentimes without our even realizing it. And then they're in the driver's seat of how we think, how we feel, how we react. One of the ways that you can ascertain if this manipulative person has jumped into the driver's seat of your inner world and your life is if everything you do, everything you're thinking about, your thoughts throughout the day, if they're constantly revolving around how the other person is going to feel about what you do. You might find yourself saying things like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, but they'll get mad. I want to say this. Oh, but then they'll do this. And then everything that you're going to do or say is only allowed if the other person doesn't get upset. And by the way, this can be so unconscious. I know with myself, and this is kind of embarrassing, but I know with myself, one of the things that I used to say back when I didn't realize that I myself was no longer in the driver's seat of my inner world, I remember saying, is it wrong that I feel upset when somebody says this to me? Like, I remember even doubting my own normal feelings to abusive and unkind behaviors, and I couldn't even stand in my own agency by saying, that's rude, that's unloving, that's unkind. I almost doubted that my perception of that was correct, because that's exactly what the manipulation is designed to do, cause you to doubt yourself. The other thing that causes you to not be you after manipulative relationships is that they mess with your nervous system. So think of your nervous system as like the gears to a manual car, right? You need first gear through fifth, you need reverse, you need all the gears. They all serve a purpose. But imagine that you get stuck with only one gear functioning. Imagine reverse, right? We do need reverse, but imagine that's the only gear and you're trying to get everywhere in life in reverse gear. That's going to cause chaos in your life. Well, the same thing happens when your gears or your nervous system responses get stuck. And so in a manipulative relationship, for example, one of our trauma responses is fight. Manipulative people love to get you stuck in a fight trauma response, and they can take the most docile, patient, kind person and turn them into a reactive, angry, resentful, miserable person. And they do this through punishments and rewards. So for example, in one relationship that I was in, I would forgive really fast and I would try to make peace. The weird thing, and this you will notice in manipulative relationships, is the more you are being kind, the worse things get. The longer the fight lasts, it makes no sense. And so eventually I would explode, right? After a certain amount of time of somebody poking, you explode. And then what happens with the explosion is they change, they become kind, or if they don't become kind, they at least let up on the abuse, which feels kind when you've been enduring a lot of abuse. And then what happens is the next time there's a discussion or a disagreement, you explode just a little bit faster, and then you get that let up of abuse. Your nervous system starts noticing that the fight, the reactivity, causes a positive for you. And you can get stuck then in a fight trauma response where over a period of time, maybe it took you a long time to explode. By the end of the relationship, the narcissist can just give you a look, can say one tiny little word, but your fight response muscles now are so strong with overuse that you react like that. So you get the idea, right? That manipulative relationships change you on the inside. And so then you go to heal. And there's a lot of information about how to spot manipulative people, how to react or respond to manipulative people. And the advice could be great, but if you're not working on the inside with your subconscious beliefs and your nervous system, that's what causes that 2-step forward, 2-step back healing recovery journey. So let's talk about what's needed in order to heal. And so how we heal on the inside is by uprooting the disempowering beliefs that honestly aren't part of who we truly are and replacing them with beliefs that are in harmony with how we see ourselves and our authenticity. So for example, instead of I can't trust myself, we need to learn that my feelings matter and I can listen and trust them. And instead of I have to please others in order to be safe, we need to learn that I'm allowed to set boundaries and my boundaries keep me safe. But I want to be real with you, right? That's a lot easier said than done. And I think this is the challenging part, and this leads to that 2-step forward, 2-step back recovery as well is we start learning this on a cognitive level. Like, oh, my beliefs matter. I'm allowed to put down boundaries. We get it. Our mind believes it, and our body starts freaking out. And so we go to put down a boundary. The other person gets upset. The emotions and discomfort in our body cause us to disrespect our own boundaries, and we go right back to trying to find safety by making the other person happy. And so this is where somatic education is so helpful, because when we don't understand what's happening, we notice the discomfort, our body registers our actions of boundaries as danger, and we get sucked back in. But when we understand it, we start being able to work through it. And so the first thing we have to understand is that our subconscious beliefs are like muscles. I can have the knowledge of what exercise will strengthen my biceps, but it's not until I am regularly exercising them that I'm going to see a difference. And so with the beliefs that we don't want, just like a muscle, and our muscles are very use it or lose it. So the muscles that we stop exercising do not get weak overnight. There's a period of time before where it was at gets to, and then where it becomes as a result of lack of use. It's the same thing with our beliefs. We might have a very strong belief, I need to make you happy in order to stay safe, and I'm trying to strengthen a new muscle or belief that I'm allowed to set boundaries because my boundaries keep me safe. But for a period of time, the old belief and the new belief are both online, so to speak, at the same time. And so that's where the discomfort comes up in the body. And so that's where, just like going to a gym is going to help you to strengthen the muscles that you want strengthened, we need to find a nervous system gym, so to speak, that helps us to strengthen the new beliefs that we're trying to strengthen so that we can heal from manipulation. And that's exactly where the School of Transformation comes in. That's what we do. We start helping the old beliefs atrophy through lack of use, and we learn how to be with the discomfort in the body, how to build the capacity, as well as how to process and release stuck survival energy so that we can then step into the beliefs that we really want to be running the show in our life. So again, as a reminder, if you're struggling to apply this on your own, live help is available with the School of Transformation. And then once we have the internal programs and our nervous system in place, how it needs to be, then the external actions that we need to take to heal from manipulation and to keep ourselves out of manipulative relationships becomes a lot easier. Some of those external measures are, one, setting boundaries, learning to say no and sticking to it even if it feels uncomfortable and even if it makes someone else uncomfortable. We can even start small. We can practice saying no thank you in low stakes situations and then build to be able to say no to people that are more difficult. And remember, remind yourself, boundaries are for your protection. They're not about hurting other people, but also remind yourself, just because someone else doesn't like them doesn't mean that they're bad. The second external thing that helps is finding supportive people. Doing this alone is really hard, especially if your only source of contact has been a manipulative person for a long time. So find people that respect your boundaries and uplift you. You can join a support group online with like-minded people that are on the same journey. And remember, avoid spending time with people that dismiss your feelings. Tip number 3 is to begin rebuilding your self-trust muscles. You can start by listening to your gut instinct. Manipulation, remember, it teaches you to ignore yourself and think that you need somebody else's validation. But you can practice by making small decisions without asking for advice and really reflect on the question, what feels right for me in this moment, even if others don't agree? Tip number 4 is about learning about manipulation tactics. It is important to understand things like gaslighting, guilt tripping, or even love bombing. You can write down examples from your own experience and see if you can notice patterns. We can't really heal until we can see it and bring it into our conscious awareness. So to sum it up, imagine healing from manipulation as building a house. We always have to start with a strong foundation. And so our foundation is learning how to find safety within ourselves. It's the nervous system work that's needed. The walls of the house are like our beliefs, and we need to replace harmful beliefs with empowering ones. The doors and windows, just like on a house, are the boundaries. They're the boundaries that we install in our new relationships. And think of your nervous system like a traffic light. Green is like the safe zone. It's when we feel calm and connected. Yellow is caution, where we're on edge and we're anxious, maybe walking on eggshells. Red means danger, where we're overwhelmed or frozen. Manipulative people work very hard to keep you either in the yellow or the red zone. And so when we do the work to heal, we are teaching our body how to stay in the green zone more often. And when we notice the yellow or the red, we're able to work with our nervous system somatically so that we can guide our nervous system back to green. And so if nothing else, I hope you take away these key points that healing from manipulation is about first reconnecting with your body and your nervous system. Second, it's about changing harmful beliefs into ones that empower you. And third and final, it's about taking actions, like setting boundaries and learning to trust yourself. Please remember that this process takes time, but every tiny step builds your inner strength. You're reclaiming your power, one breath, one boundary, and one belief at a time. And always remember, if you're struggling to do this alone, come join our nervous system gym rehab, better known as the School of Transformation. The videos on my channel are designed to help you to understand what to do, but the School of Transformation is designed to help you to embody what you're learning. So make sure you come check us out live.